You can talk to the camera while I fiddle. Can you see yourself?
I can see my hand.
All right.
Says you're live.
Okay.
There we are.
Yay!
Hi, camera. Hello.
Can you guys see me? All right, Reggie. I guess you have to scoot closer. But no disgusting bag noises. So Richie wanted to come over again and do another live.
Hi.
We're going all natural and spontaneous today. We were also told to be spontaneous and do things, on the fly. So as much as we try to do things on the fly,
it still requires a lot of planning.
It does, like a charged iPad. We were trying to go live with our charged iPad. I'm actually going to do my snowman like this. And the lighting, we moved locations. So the lighting, we have some shadows going on here. Maybe if we move these cups out of the way. You want to sip? Look at that. Cheers to the new year.
But shadows are important in painting, right?
Well, but not in live streaming. I have lots of. All right, I think you guys can see okay, but
we don't have any shadows.
No, you don't see it?
I don't see shadows.
I see it on my phone, but anyway, we try to use the iPad, but make sure there's no sound. All right, you guys. So today we're going to do an acrylic canvas painting, and Richie's going to do it with me. Yes. So we did a little bit yesterday, and we're going to do another one today because Richie's leaving. When are you leaving?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow! He's going back to Kentucky. So we are going to work on our snowman. And if you guys want a printable template or a step-by-step directions, I'll get that to you. You guys can chat with us. Richie's in charge of the chatting. So if anyone has anything to say, let us know. You guys, we are coming to you live on Amazon, artistatheart.live. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Hi, everybody. Happy holidays. So today we're going to be doing our snowman acrylic painting. Today we're using 16 by 20 canvas. Look at our lovely, this is on the fly, you guys. We're doing it just very spontaneously.
And sometimes spontaneity will mean that your paint does weird wonky things, right?
So yes, this is not the best looking plate, but whatever.
Look at how the black is like melting into the
So we're just going to make sure we don't touch that spot, but we're going to start with the background. So the nice thing about this painting is you can do whatever color you want, but we're going to use a nice cool blue. I'll leave that there so you can look at it.
Perfect.
So we're going to use a nice cool blue for the background. I have actually phthalo blue. We're going to take a dry brush. I'm using a flat brush, and we're just going to start. Look at how pretty that is. Love it.
Oh, we're going vertical stripes.
Anyway, we're going to get that whole background covered. So as you guys paint your canvas, if you see like little white speckles, that is just the gesso. That's a primer on your canvas. And so you just want to make sure that you get the paint thick enough that it covers that.
Ooh, this is like the ocean.
Isn't it a beautiful, very rich, almost navy blue, a little bit lighter than navy blue. You can go, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. So again,
you're even going over under the line and all
that? Yeah, okay. You can. It's up to you. So I'm going to do this one. I'm actually going to go, can you guys see that? Is there anything? Oh, it's the plate. Is there anything in the way of my painting? Do you have a good shot?
I can see. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Normally I'm in one of my bedrooms. That's where my studio is set up with lighting and everything. We decided we're in the middle of the kitchen right now because 2 minutes ago we were eating food because we were trying to get the iPad charged. It just was not cooperating. So, they say that
adapt.
No, they say you told me if I use a different charger, if I used
the cube.
If I use the cube charger for my iPad, it would charge quicker, but it would like all of a sudden the light would come on and then it would die again. So I opted for my phone. So we're using my phone in the kitchen. Again, so the lighting's not the same as it normally is. Actually, the whole view is not the same as it normally is. So let me know what you guys think. All right, so this again is phthalo blue. My nephew here, Richie, is home for the holidays. He's heading back tomorrow. So he was here yesterday with me. He's like, oh, let's do a live. So we did a live. We had a lot of fun. and we decided, but you know, again, use it or lose it. It took forever to set up, right? So, and then even tonight, we were like, oh, let's schedule it for 5 o'clock. And before you know it, it's 5 o'clock and we're still not ready because we couldn't get the gadgets to work appropriately. So you can, here's how you would add it. So what is it if you add black to it? What's it called?
Shade.
A shade. And if I add white to it?
Tint.
Very good. So you can add different values to your blue. So again, at any time you can go into it with a little bit of white or a little bit of black and change the color background. Now I'm going to just start.
Okay, you can also like just thin it out like I'm doing. How it's
Yeah,
just...
you can thin it out as well. I just, again, like to get those the little textures of the canvas covered enough. And you can lighten it up. You just don't want it to be too light because you want to have that nice strong contrast with the snowman, right? So the snowman's going to be white, and you don't want the background to be too light so that it looks bold and you know, again, it has a strong contrast. So Richie and I were just eating some leftovers, and I feel like I smell like garlic. Yesterday, I felt like I smelled like a big red onion, right?
Well, you did have an onion bagel.
I did. And with a big hunk of red onion on it, remember?
Oh, yeah.
We've been doing a lot of eating, so I
don't... Isn't that the point of the holidays?
It is.
To celebrate and to be festive and to have the feast of all the fruits and
Does everybody
flavors.
gain weight over the holidays?
I do.
Because my jeans are tight. I've been having more. Carbs are so good.
Delicious.
But they definitely bloat me. And so right now I have sweatpants on, but until Richie got here, I had pajamas on. And then this is like one of my paint smocks that you guys don't usually see me in. Hair's in a ponytail. Richie's like, oh, let's go do a live. And I'm like, oh my God, I have no makeup on. But whatever, I'm all about being spontaneous.
Well, didn't the artists of the day not wear makeup when they did their stuff?
Who was the artist of the day?
Oh, like Van Gogh or...
Well, Van Gogh don't wear makeup.
Or Frida Kahlo.
Oh, Frida always had makeup on.
Even when she was painting alone?
I don't know. She was so pretty. I think she always had that.
What about Georgia O'Keeffe?
I don't know about Georgia, but I know Frida. She always had that with those bright, bold red lips.
And then, who are other famous female artists? Those are the two that come to my mind.
Georgia O'Keeffe and Frida?
Mm-hmm.
Those are probably the two of the most famous ones.
Who's your favorite female artist besides yourself?
Oh my gosh, no, I wouldn't even say that. So I would love to go see like Georgia O'Keeffe's home in New Mexico, which I guess is still there. I love the fact that she lived to be over 100. I think she lived to 101. She had a relationship with a famous photographer named George Stieglitz.
George and Georgia, that's funny.
I know, isn't that funny? So, yeah, I'm doing this one, you guys, a lot in January. So right now I just thought
preview.
Yeah, we'll preview it. You know, we can, I can send you the printable templates in the supply list. I should have put a link in there, but I'll get it together and I'll make a shorter version. We just thought it would be fun to come on and live. We're streaming right now on various platforms. So we're also on, if you're not on Amazon, you can see the paint that I'm using, the canvas that I'm using. And then on Facebook, YouTube, I think we're also on LinkedIn right now as well. So yes. We're just doing a nice 16 by 20 canvas painting. So when I do my in-person jobs, unless Richie brings his to his school, I'll bring both of them and I'll say, oh, this was created by my nephew and this is created by me. So I like to always tell everybody that your brush stroke is like your handwriting. Not that it looks like your handwriting. It just looks different than everybody else's, right?
Well, yeah. Now, I don't know if you know this, but paintbrushes were made of like horse fur, like horsetail fur.
Mm-hmm. So there are some natural bristle brushes and there are synthetic ones too.
So which ones do you prefer?
I don't know. I prefer whatever this is, but I don't even know what it is. And a lot of them are also like squirrel or, I mean, the ones that I'm using right now have a Dura handle, like they're plastic handles. I don't like wooden handles because they splinter and they don't last. For me, they don't last. So I always like to get a plastic handle. And I have 20 different kinds of brushes. So I I mean, I can recommend to you guys so many different brushes. And if I'm on Amazon and I get brushes that I don't like, I just won't share them with you. Because I've had some of those literally like they're one and done. So if you're looking for a school project, let's say for, something, one and done, like they're going to go in the garbage can because they're not durable at all.
They're just cheapo.
Cheapo, but they serve a purpose.
Their purpose, right.
If you're going to do like a big project, but most of the time I try to give quality. I don't recommend things that are one and done, right? Because you really want to be able to use stuff over and over again. And we're just using the big brush. And so Richie's is definitely, he's adding like a thinner application. Did you add water to yours?
Nope. I'm just like, I was told by my art teacher many years ago, you always let your paintbrush run empty before you fill it up.
Really?
And then you just fill it up. If you want it darker, you just refill your paintbrush. Because that way it at least gets all onto canvas, and then you can, because my art teacher said you can always go darker, but it's really hard to go lighter.
Right. That's true.
So that's stuck with me, that you can go lighter by just letting the paint run off the paintbrush, but once you go darker, it's hard to come back. Did
you like art class in high school?
Well, I didn't take art in high school. I took art all the way up through middle school.
Oh.
And
you didn't have to take it in high school?
Because I did theater and speech and debate. Those were my arts credits. For me, I liked art. My favorite was definitely the pottery, where where our teacher showed us how to use the kiln in middle school.
Wow.
Another one of my favorite art projects was making a plaster mask of my face.
Yes.
Now let me tell you, make sure you can breathe well out of your nose. Otherwise, it's a struggle for those 15 minutes to let the plaster dry on you.
And where is your plaster mask these days?
Gosh, I think I might have thrown it away many years ago. Well, I mean, it was when I was cleaning up my drawers. You've seen it though.
Yeah, but that's something if I had a plaster mask, I would have kept it. Like you could see if your head changed size. Do you think your face is still the same size?
My face from middle school to now, in middle school, I think my face was a lot more round than it is now.
What do they say? When do you actually stop growing? How old are you now?
I'm 26. So the brain is fully developed around 21, between 21 and 25, I think, on average. So
I think my brain's still developing.
Well, I mean, your brain's always learning, and it's called.
You hope it is.
Well, it's called neuroplasticity.
Ooh.
The brain is plastic, not in the sense of these brush handles. Plastic is just a fancy term for saying it's able to be changed.
Well, you just asked me if acrylic paint was also made out of plastic, so.
Well, I did because I know it's not I know it's like a synthetic pigment paint, so.
I'm going to show one thing real quick. I am going to show you guys how to. I forgot to make sure that no one's chatting with us on Amazon.
I don't see
but you guys let us know. So today's colder in Cleveland. Yesterday
it was a 20-degree drop.
20-degree drop. I didn't even want to go out, but I'm still happy that it's not snowing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shade my background by adding a little bit of black. I'm not even going to wash off my brush. I'm just going to take it and put some black on there. And I'm going to do, in the background, and I'm just going to blend it in a little bit. Just randomly, wherever you want. No, I'm not going in a certain, yesterday, remember we were doing a lot of specific brush strokes. Today, I'm just going in every direction. Any direction that you want to. You could also make it lighter instead of darker, but again, I want to go for the big, bold contrast. And I also like the way it looks when you paint the edge of your canvas. I think it looks so much nicer. And again, you want to make it thick enough that you get all those little white speckles on the canvas covered. But this is again, you could easily do your background purple or, orange or any color that would give it contrast with the white snowman.
What about those cool colors?
Oh, do you remember what we were talking about? Cool colors yesterday.
And warm.
Yes, we did. We talked about cool and warm yesterday. Do you remember what they were?
The cool colors are blue, green, and yellow.
No.
No. Blue, green. No, not purple.
Yeah.
Purple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Purple. Purple. Yellow is a warm color.
And then the warm colors are yellow, red, and orange.
Yes. So again, I'm just putting a little bit of black in here. Deepening up my background, but not always. Like not the whole thing. I don't want it to be flat. Just trying to give it a little dimension. You can also just use a darker blue. So this is called phthalo blue, and then I have black mixed in it. All right, how's your background? And then again, I just like to do this.
A little rough around the edges, especially as I get in these nooks and crannies, but you know what? We're making do.
So nooks and crannies makes me think of food. Okay, there was a commercial about, I think it was an English muffin. Do you guys remember that commercial? And they talked about the butter getting in the nooks and crannies.
Listen, butter in the nooks and crannies of any food's delicious.
Pretty much. We were eating bagels too. We have had a lot of carbs this week for
We've
sure.
had a lot.
I forgot to shut my ringtone off.
A lot of it's from Costco.
Yeah.
So I was at Costco the other day and I got a big tub of biscotti. And for those who don't know what biscotti is, they're like these little like Italian cookies.
We love them.
They go great with coffee.
Right.
Between the two of us, we've eaten about 3/4 of the tub already.
Which is by far a family pack. Okay, family size from Costco. Really good. I love almonds.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like really good cookies with almonds, and they're great dunked in coffee on a cold.
Because they're dry. They just absorb that coffee.
Mm-hmm. And on a cold winter day, even though there's no snow, which we're really happy about.
It makes driving easy.
What's that?
I said it makes driving easy.
True.
Especially when you have a 5-6 hour trip.
Right. I have a feeling you're going to polish off that bucket of cookies tomorrow.
I hope to save it for a couple days before I have to go back to school. It's like a little weekend treat. Because I can only drink so much coffee.
Right. Oh, I gotta remind me, I'm gonna give you chocolate covered espresso beans. You can take those back.
Oh, chocolate covered espresso.
Oh my gosh. So you guys, one of my other favorite things other than Costco is Buc-ee's. I love Buc-ee's. So if you do a lot of driving and go on road trips, Buc-ee's is like the world's largest gas station, the cleanest bathrooms, tons of food. Oh my gosh. And they make the best beef jerky, and they have these chocolate covered espresso beans, which are great because if you're doing a road trip and you don't want to drink coffee because coffee makes you go to the bathroom, then you got to stop all the time. So the chocolate covered coffee beans make you a little, perky without having to use the bathroom. So even though Buc-ee's has the best bathrooms ever, super clean.
But they're only in the South.
Well, I think they're coming. One is coming to Columbus, Ohio.
Really?
Yes. And I don't know about Kentucky, but they were based just in Texas. And then they started going to like Florida, and I think there's one in South Carolina. There's my background. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Oh, Buc-ee's has great barbecue sandwich. Oh my gosh, the best barbecue sandwiches ever, for sure. So I agree with you. I don't know who it is. It just says Facebook user, but I love their barbecue sandwiches. So the funny part about Buc-ee's too is you can't sit down and eat, right? There's no seating. They want people to come in and out. Tons of employees. You walk and everyone's like, hi, welcome to Buc-ee's. You never wait in line. And they just have these giant pork sandwiches, all kinds. I also just had the 3 meat. It had turkey, pork, and beef, and they're all like smoked. Oh my gosh, so good. They also have fruit, and I was like, I'm going to eat healthy. No, I didn't. And then they have homemade potato chips. So the thing is, people are walking around the store. Oh, hi, Susan. Susan's watching us. Susan's in Texas. Susan, right? That's where it's based out of. So, love Buc-ee's. And again, I was just just went there for the first time, and now I've been there. Every time I'm on a road trip, it is a destination. And again, you don't have like a place in there to sit down and eat. You just walk around and eat. So I always get like a cup of the homemade potato chips and at least one of the pork sandwiches for the road. Really, really good. The gas prices are the same as Costco. At least that's what I experienced. So I'm like, okay, this is really, really good. And the bathrooms are spotless. Very nice. So after you guys do the background. Oh my God! After you do the bathroom, no, scrap that. I got to get Bucky's off my mind. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna wash out our brush. Whenever you're, that looks really cool.
Thank you.
So look at these are my paint cups. You see that? So don't drink the paint water. Okay, so you're gonna rinse out your brush. And we're gonna paint the snowman's body a light coat of white. But again, now mine's a little bit blue. We have a little paper towel. I think you have one too. So I'm gonna dry it. See all that blue still on there? So I'm gonna wipe it off. And I'm gonna scoop up some white paint and I'm gonna paint in his body, okay? And again, I'm gonna get a little bit of blue in there, but it's good. It's gonna give it, a little dimension. I'm gonna go around my buttons, but that's okay if you don't. I did put a line in there like for a snowman, but I think I'm just gonna make the snowman go over it. But I'll go around the buttons.
Oh, I see my blue.
Yeah, but I think that looks cool, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Gives it oomph.
Yeah.
Body.
Yeah, their homemade potato chips are the best. They have free samples of their chips. I didn't get a free sample. I just bought a cup. They did give me samples of beef jerky because they have so many flavors. I didn't know which ones to get.
Which ones did you get?
I got teriyaki
for our family.
Yes, for your teriyaki. I just say what's the most popular, which ones are the best, and I got 2 different flavors. I know teriyaki was one. I can't remember the other one. I'm going to actually go back into it and put a little bit more blue on my brush.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Why use white paint if you intend to leave something white? Why don't you just leave it plain canvas?
So you're going to have a different finish. So do you see the canvas is very matte, no shine? Okay. And so the paint is going to have, like, depending on what kind of paint you're using, you're going to have a shine to it, or a sheen, or a satin finish, or a matte finish, but it will make the canvas look different.
Okay.
So you want to add paint to it just so it has the same finish as the rest of the painting.
But is there a reason? Could you ever just leave the canvas just white?
You could, but it would look, to me, it would look like you just forgot about it.
Have there ever been artists, like people that like
not like a big snowman, but maybe like a little tiny area. We just did that Highlander who had a candy cane in his mouth, and so there was like a little bit of white in the candy cane, and sometimes people would forget to do the white part, and you really don't notice it until, again, if you're looking at your painting from the side and you're like, okay, that looks weird. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I look for that, so I'll run around and tell people, hey, you forgot your white candy cane, or but it's not the end of the world, right? Mm-hmm. It's more about the process of creating than the product. But everyone wants to have a beautiful piece of art. So I say it's more like fun art, not fine art, okay?
I saw the other day that Earth is EARTH, and without the ART, without art, Earth is just eh.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
When people are like, art is not that important, I'm like, imagine what your life would be like without art.
Any art. The art.
Furniture is art.
The art's
like that's art. Furniture is art. Imagine if it may be functional, but it's still art, right? Mm-hmm. Clothes are art.
Sure.
So like imagine what life would be like without any form of art.
Right.
It would just be if even.
If even. And you guys, I did this in Sharpie marker, so you can still see through the paint. I'm not applying it so thick that you cannot see the line. Now, you might not be able to see it as I'm doing it, but I can see it too. And that's as long as the artist can see the line still, so they know where to paint. But yeah, like even the face, you're going to do white, a little bit of blue. So Richie and I were too cold to go out. So
it dropped like 20 degrees, and it was raining, so that makes it even colder.
Yesterday we were running around. We saw a rainbow. We came back. We did a fun live stream.
We were spontaneous.
We're still
spontaneous.
We're trying to be spontaneous, but you know, sometimes
I got a little bit in that round.
That's okay. Sometimes technology gets in the way. And charging things. I'm like, I haven't used my iPad in so long, but I thought it would be fun to stream out of the iPad. And want to make sure you guys could see it okay. I think you can. So look, I even got a little bit of blue in his hat. It doesn't matter. People always, you know, kind of get upset when they get paint in the wrong place. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. So what are we going to do next? We are going to do the top hat. So we're going to do so you're going to do his face and his body. And after you do that,
right behind.
that's okay. We're going to do a smaller brush and fill in the top hat and the scarf with a thick layer of gold. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that brush. So this is a nice round brush, and I'm going to get scooped. Look at this pretty gold. So I'm going to, we accidentally spilled the black, but we're going to stay away from the black. So look at that gold. Isn't that pretty? Can you guys see that? Can you see that gold? So look at that. It covered right over that splotch of blue I got on there. Actually, I'm going to cover that band. I don't even need that band. But you can have a band if you want one. I probably shouldn't have put it in there. It's cute for the holidays, like if you want to do red and green. But this is going to be our New Year's snowman. You can even add a heart to it and make it for Valentine's, right? You could do heart buttons. He could be holding a heart. There's so many ways it could be well, not really a shamrock. By then he's going to be a puddle, right? Well, let's hope.
Frosty the shamrock puddle.
Right.
Frosty
I don't know. It's
puddle.
Cleveland. So we've had St. Patrick's Days in Cleveland where it's 75 and sunny, and we've had St. Patrick's Days where it's 0. So really the weather just can depend.
So how did you paint in his face?
I just did the same thing with his face that I did the body, and I just went right over. It's okay if you go right over the eyes or if you go around them. I did right over the mouth.
Yeah, at least you're seeing the comments. I got nothing on my Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, I got nothing.
So Susan wants to know. So this is called metallic gold. It's really pretty. I'll send you the link to it. I would use any deeper gold, and if it's too transparent, you can layer it.
Which one? Are we doing the medium one?
Yes.
And we're going into gold?
Yes.
Dry brush, right?
Yes, dry brush. And and I'm using these directions. That's what I'm reading. Fill in the buttons and the scarf fringe too. So next with the medium round brush, fill in the top hat and the scarf and the buttons. Okay. So let's do the buttons in no particular order. So again, even this is kind of transparent, so I could always add a second coat of that. I also really like the extreme glitter paint that is metallic, but it's a little bit transparent. So if whatever you're using is too transparent, layer it, add a couple coats, but in order to apply a second coat, you have to let it dry. So whenever I'm layering my paint, I like to tell people it's like painting a wall or painting your fingernails. You have to let it dry before you put another coat on. Okay, so like I can keep painting over this and over it and over it, but I'm not going to get it any heavier until it dries. So I have to be patient. That's hard. I know. I'm just like everybody else. I want it, to be done the first coat, but I can't. So I'm going to do my scarf. So buttons, hat, scarf, or gold. You can change your colors. They don't have to be those colors, right? You can customize it. You can do it in your favorite colors. You could do sorority colors. You could do high school colors or college colors. What's your college colors?
Mine?
Yeah. Do you remember?
Red and blue.
Red and well, that would look a little patriotic. Wish you went to the University of Dayton.
Go Flyers.
Like a lot of colleges are gold and blue, aren't they?
Mm.
Cleveland Browns, orange and brown. Yay, we're going to the playoffs.
That is
Woo!
something.
Amazing, right?
It's
Amazing.
yes.
I know you're not a sports person, but,
I'm not a yeah.
but it's fun.
It is. The Browns deserve it. I think they're the most deserving team to be able to go to the playoffs because they're cursed.
Don't cancel that. Cancel that.
They've been cursed.
Cancel that. Positive words. Positive words. That's our. You have to have a. Do you guys ever hear this? You should have a word for the new year. So like last year, I had the same word in my phone every single day of the year. So I saw it every day. I can't.
What was your word this year?
Well, I'm gonna show you on my phone. Give me a sec here. Since I'm so far ahead, I'll put my gold down for a minute. All right, let me see. My phone word for the year. So it's in my calendar. I'll show you.
Nice.
So my word for the year, and again, it's in my entire calendar for the whole year. Focus. That was my word for the year. But every day I saw that word focus, and it was for the whole year. So, but I heard one word you put in your phone, and for the whole year. So just starting January 1st, think of a word that will help you and inspire you, and put it in there. It could be anything. It could be prayer. It could be mindfulness,
Abundance,
creative, loving, anything you want, really. And then you put it in your calendar for the whole year. And then that way, every day you see that word. And it's just a little reminder. Sometimes I'm always not so focused. Sometimes I'm like, la, 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 la. And, I just, I thought that would be a good word. Did it help me? Maybe, maybe a little bit. I think it did. It was good to see it for sure every day, and some days I'm more focused than others. That's for sure. Some days I'm more motivated than others. This was not planned for today, right? Which is like, oh, let's do a painting. And I was like, all right, if we're going to do a painting, we should just do one that I have to have done, for our events. And we could try to go live. So we were just, again, being spontaneous. So I'm going to let the gold dry. And let's see, our next step is to paint the underside of the snowman's hat black, and then fill in his eyes, mouth too, black. So
what brush are we using?
Did you do your gold? You did
Yeah.
do your gold. I want to make sure. So you guys, I have the directions right here in front of me, but I don't want to get paint all over me. So I have, let's see. All right.
What step are we on?
We're on step 4. Paint the underside of the snowman's hat black, and then fill in his eyes and mouth too. Just tap the brush along the mouth line, then paint the nose orange and the arms brown. So black. So I'm just gonna. I'm not even gonna want. You could. It's okay. I'm just gonna wipe off the excess gold because it's black. So the underside of his, and go into the juicy part, like this part of his hat is all gonna be black, and we can add some highlights later. So do you see why I didn't want my background to get too dark? Is because then it would it would have just bumped right into it. So you still want to have a little bit of contrast. So I didn't want the background to get too dark or too light. So you can still see the hat. And we can also add a little highlight there too. So if it blends too much into the black and the navy, or it was actually phthalo blue, we can highlight it to make it pop out again. I'm going to do the whole underside of his hat, his eyes. Ooh, we're quiet for the first time.
So.
Was that an uncomfortable silence?
No, it wasn't. I was just in my zone.
Oh, well, that's good.
When I get in my zone, when I get my flow going, I get quiet. And
we usually have music. My word for the year is pause. Oh, that's good. Pause.
I think my word's going to be spontaneity.
Ooh.
Because that was the lesson I think I got out of yesterday.
Right. And we should just have a whole list of words, like maybe even the top 10 words that you think would benefit you, right? What else am I supposed to do? Black, the eyes,
The
and
button.
the mouth, right?
Yeah.
Is that what I said? Step 4?
Mm-hmm.
We'll make sure you get these directions too, Susan. So we have step 4, paint the underside of the snowman's hat black and then fill in his eyes and mouth. And then paint the nose orange and the arms brown. So let's do the eyes. We could always add highlights later. You could also make his eyes square, like charcoal, like coal. Have you seen any snowman lately?
No, because there's been no snow.
We had a little bit of snow, I think, for Thanksgiving, and I did see a little snowman.
I was here. I just wasn't with y'all.
Oh yeah, and then we could do the underside of it. I'm gonna let my buttons dry, so I'm gonna go into my orange nose. So we have our little
What
snowman.
color? Which are you using? A tiny brush?
I'm gonna go back to the medium one, but I'm gonna get that black off of there.
Mm-hmm.
People love to change their water. Even if your water is dark blue, black, you don't have to change it. Just go all the way down to the bottom of the cup and then dry it off. And then you can use your orange and it'll be fine. Watch. People love, see how bright that orange is? Beautiful, right? But people love fresh water. So if you're home by yourself, that's fine. But if I'm doing a paint party and I have 30 people who want new water, I'm like, no, you don't need new water. I said, just try it and see if it affects your paint. As long as you go all the way down to the bottom of the cup, you're good. And we could always outline it later too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
I think I got a good nose.
Yeah, I think your nose is great.
All right. So I'm thinking.
And then brown arms. Probably use
the tiny brush.
Yeah, whatever one works. Yeah, do the tiny brush. So Richie has a classroom of 8th graders. I said, you can hang this up even though you don't have snow. They would still like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to do
They might roast me, but I'll be like, I don't see you guys doing this.
Right. You can use, let's see how dark this brown is.
It's not. It's like a nice stick wood brown.
Yeah, and how would we lighten it if you wanted to?
You would add a little bit of white to tint it.
Exactly.
Look at me using my.
Right, your vocabulary.
I know. So when you taught kids, how did you assess them? Like, how did you like?
I had to make rubrics. Back in the day.
Like, how do you grade art?
Right. So again, that's probably was the hardest part of my job was grading art. Back in the day, it was like pass fail. All you had to do was show me effort because I don't want to grade someone's artwork. And the horror stories that I hear from paint parties are so many people tell me that their art teacher told them that they were a horrible artist, or that wasn't the way, or you had to stay inside the lines, or you had to do exactly what they said. You couldn't do your own thing. I thought that was so wrong, and I'm like, I encourage people to do their own thing. And I cannot grade on, like following directions. Okay, like you came to school with me. You know what? Staying in the classroom, that's a good thing. If you could stay in the classroom and try,
mm-hmm.
then you're going to get a good grade. And
so
when I went back so again, I'd have to have a rubric and a grading scale and set certain expectations. And if I gave out too many A's, like I would get reprimanded.
You would get reprimanded for passing kids?
Too many, yep.
You had to fail kids?
Not fail them, but not, because again, I went to ABC instead of satisfactory, good, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, again, how could I stifle anyone's creativity? You know what I mean? I'm like, things that I didn't think of the kids were doing, and it was amazing, and I loved it.
So when you were in the classroom, so for those who don't know, I'm a teacher as well. I'm in my 3rd year, so I've still got a lot of things to do. Got a lot of things to learn, right? What was your classroom management style? How did you manage children?
Oh, interesting. So I started teaching in 1995. So in 1995, it was very different. No one was really using the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it wasn't until 2000 that the internet really came and started booming. But you know, back in the day, I had an old school noise graph with a dry erase board and markers, and I would monitor their volume with that. So again, that was hard too because kids love to talk during art, and especially when they can't talk during their academics. And I wanted them to be able to talk, but they were so loud. So
That
I
part
would,
has
you know,
changed.
and then if they got too loud and didn't lower their volume, then we would have silent art for 5 minutes. And they
Silent art.
Yes, they hated silent art.
I hate the sound of that. Period.
And if someone talked during silent art, then I would add a minute. Oh, that's another minute. And then they would get so mad at that child who talked during silent art. So, and then they would all learn to whisper. Again, that was back in the day. So I quit teaching in 2015 and started my own business.
Which is this?
Which is Artist at Heart Paint Party. And I evolved to having centers. So what I noticed over the years was that kids became more sensitive with tactile, especially, and I swear it was because they just became accustomed to iPads. Everything was instant. There was no touch. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have a feeling of clay or wet paints or crayons or markers or So I had so many kids who had sensory issues. So I started creating centers where they were allowed to choose what form of art. Were they going to use clay? Were they going to use crayons? Were they going to use markers?
Wow.
And I would teach a lesson on Vincent van Gogh, and then they could go to that center and create their Van Gogh project in their favorite art supply.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you've taught K-12. You've done all the grade levels, right?
Right. And back in the day, when you used to come with me, preschool age, oh my gosh. And are you done already?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's little white splotches here and there I'm going to try and fill in.
So you can fill it in by outlining it if you want to, or you can just add more color to it. So I taught preschool.
Oh, you did pre-K too.
Pre-K and all the way up. This favorite school, Paul Dunbar, was preschool through 8th grade. And then I eventually went to high school. So anyway, all right, how's our snowman coming? So now you can go into it with some accents. Let's see here. So I definitely need to make sure it's dry. I could put like a little, it does have like a little kind of maybe black right in here. See how when I curve it like that, it gives it a little bit more dimension?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. Maybe a little bit in there. Maybe give them a little bit. If I'm looking at it. So I'm doing mine upside down, so it's hard to. I'm going to flip it around. Try painting upside down.
Writing upside down is hard enough. I can only imagine painting upside down.
Right. So we're going to put a little bit of black on this side of his head. I'll flip back over in a minute. I just want to get a little bit of shading in there, give him a little bit of dimension. And again, this is where you would customize it. So you guys could add a heart to it. You could change the colors. You could put a baby snowman in there.
So, what do you call a snowman having a temper tantrum?
I don't know.
A meltdown.
Oh, that's hilarious. Do you have kids at school that have meltdowns?
Are
they pretty good?
They're pretty good.
Good. Oh my gosh, I remember, so this one kindergarten class I had, I know you've heard this story before. They were runners. I had like 5 runners in my class. And if you don't know what a runner is, they were kids that wouldn't stay in the classroom. They would literally bolt out the door. Well, what do you do when you have kids that bolt out your classroom door and then you have a bunch of other kindergartners in there, right?
So what do you do when you're by
yourself?
Gosh.
Well, so eventually I would take it was always on Wednesdays, this particular class. I'm going to flip it back around now that I did a little shading. They gave me like a special ed teacher who came into the classroom with this particular kindergarten class,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to give it a little highlight here. And then my mother would come with me on Wednesdays, and some of the kids she would have to hold on her lap. It was an interesting year for sure of these kindergartners. I'm trying to shade it with some white.
But we love our kids nonetheless, right?
Right. So.
Have you ever seen the video of Rita Pearson that says like every child needs a champion?
No.
Oh, it's
and
like
who's Rita Pearson? I don't know who that is.
She was a renowned educator,
Oh.
and it's like shown at the beginning of like every year.
Really?
To motivate teachers, and it's just like I've seen it so many times that I'm kind of like numb to it, like it's lost its value.
Mm.
But the message is still amazing.
And what's their?
Every child needs a champion.
Yeah. So who's their champion?
Us, teachers.
Oh, teachers. So the teachers are the champions.
Yeah.
That's a good message. You can put a little highlight on your button too. Now, when I'm in an in-person party, we would never be done this quick. So even though I pre-traced the canvas for them, we would definitely go slower. But you know, Richie's got to leave for school tomorrow, and he's got to bring his mother chicken wings tonight, right?
She wants teriyaki chicken wings.
So, and she's deserving of it. So now I'm going to put a little bit of black on the underside of the button, which is almost like the letter C. You can use any size brush. If you feel like your fine motor is not the best, maybe you go to a tiny brush. You can even use, a paint marker when it's dry. So I totally went out of the line on that one, and I'll just fix it when it's dry.
So speaking of fine motor skills,
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever consider art therapy?
I did. So one of the colleges in Cleveland has a great art therapy program, personally. But there's not a great demand for it in Cleveland. And I mean, I think this is art therapy, right? So
Because you just mentioned fine motor skills, and that made me think of it.
well, that's
Because it's like occupational therapy almost.
right. But I mean, art is huge in developing fine motor skills. And so is, I mean, holding a pencil, holding a paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can do like little lines in our scarf. Outline it.
What is that? Oh, is that in the fridge?
Yeah, I wonder if they can hear it. Could you guys hear my refrigerator
Gurgle.
making weird noises? So we're not usually in my kitchen, okay?
We're spontaneous.
We just thought we'd give it a whirl.
So how's this look?
It looks great.
So I'm going to add my signature.
And you could just, if you want to, just go into the scarf. You can outline the head.
There it is.
Yay! Are you going to take it with you?
I think so. This is one of my better ones.
Good. So the art's like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it. A lot of times Richie used to just leave his painting here. But not only is it, the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? Like technology. I'm like, okay, I better use it because I forgot how to do it.
Like charging an iPad.
Exactly. But, it's more about the process than the product. That's what I'm going to tell you, right? That's what I tell you all the time. So
Let me go back in and do my edges.
the last time you painted with me, it was the flag. You didn't like your trees.
Yeah, that was
But you had fun.
I did. Go with my edges.
And it's like, okay, when was the last time you painted trees? Never.
Never.
So the more you do it, again, the better you're going to get at it. You put little white highlights in his eyes. Let's see. Can you guys see that okay? Maybe we put a little bit of white on his nose. A little white highlight here. Where else do we need to highlight? I think he's maybe not as. Ooh, I got a little black in my snowman. So
A little coal, a little bit of coal.
yeah, so I could just kind of mix some blue in there and just lighten it up a little bit. This blue is so pretty, so it just looks so different depending on how much white you add to it.
Or how thin you let it go. So how do I paint the edge? Because I painted this edge
Yeah,
now.
so
So.
just be careful.
Okay.
Yeah, just you can just like that. Just use the blue. Watch the cup. Watch this cup. We've been good so far, okay? So again, I'm just giving him a little bit of blue on this side. A little bit more blue. And notice I'm just following the shape of his face because it'll make him look more dimensional. So I'm going to be on New Day Cleveland next week.
Are you really?
I think I'm going to paint the snowman, you guys. What do you think? I am, but I'm doing the snowman so much in-person events, and if you're not familiar with New Day Cleveland, it's a local TV show. I go on every couple of months, and I will be on January 4th. I think is that
Thursday.
That's Thursday.
Next Thursday.
So I
Wow, busy bee.
I think that this would be a good choice. What do you think?
I think so.
And again, I could add a heart to it. I could do them in different colors. Usually I see Natalie, but the last few times I've gone on, they've had me with Moss Man, David Moss. Yeah, that was his nickname. He told me he got Moss Man nickname when he used to own a landscaping company, or he was a landscaper.
Oh wow, and now he's an anchor?
Yeah.
So that just tells you
You
sky's the limit.
Right. And he's he does a
That's
lot of
encouraging.
cooking on their show too.
Oh nice.
So,
Do you take any of it? Do you stay for those segments?
he's usually finishing up before I come on.
Do you get the food?
No,
They don't give you the food?
not me. I think most of the people that work there get to partake in the food.
Well, that's nice.
So you also have to come up with a name for your snowman. And so what you could do, again, if this is part of your classroom, you can have a writing prompt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can have your kids do a writing assignment with your snowman, or they can create their
social
own.
skills.
Yeah.
That's what I would use this for.
Right.
There, I got my edges.
Cool. So what do you guys think? You think we're done?
I feel like I'm done.
We're almost streamed for an hour today. So you guys, thanks for watching. I'm Denise with Artist at Heart Paint Party. This is my nephew, Richie. If you're not familiar with, well, he's just home for the holidays, but let's see. Susan said, yes, Richie is a teacher. So Susan used to watch all the time. So Richie's been creating with me since we went live. Mm-hmm. Was it 3 years ago now?
3 years ago.
So Richie became a teacher 3 years ago. Well, you were in
March
college.
of 21.
So Richie
is when I started.
And Richie was in college when COVID hit. So
my final semester of senior year.
So he missed out on graduation. He ended up going and getting his master's degree and becoming a teacher in Kentucky.
Yes.
So she said, great to meet you, Richard.
Well, nice to meet you too, Susan. I don't see any of your comments here on the Facebook Live, so I feel kind of bummed. I'm glad that Denise has been...
Yeah, I don't know why So Richie's got his phone and I've got my phone, and then my other phone is up here that we're streaming on, and somehow we figured out a way to see the comments, which is funny. And then on this phone over here, I have Amazon. So, you know what, real quick though, I'm going to highlight that. So this is this is really my OtterBox phone case. So this is my phone that I use on a daily basis. And because I got it on my camera too, but because I do paint parties all the time, I'm always taking pictures of people. So this thing, I got paint all over it, but it is so durable and it protects my phone so much. So this is definitely one of my favorite products. This is called the OtterBox Defender. And I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max. But anyway, if you're on Amazon, I have it in my cart. And I have all the supplies that I was using also on Amazon. Oh, hi, Candace. So Candace is on Amazon, you guys. Hi, Candace. She says, y'all are so talented. So I'm guessing she's from the South. Y'all. You kind of say y'all now.
So yeah, I picked up y'all when I was at University of Dayton, especially working as an RA because that it's inclusive, and I'm at a college, so more inclusivity the better. And especially moving to Kentucky to help kind of mask my northern accent, I really started saying y'all. And funny, my coworkers in Kentucky, I asked them right before break, and I'm like, do you guys feel like I've started talking like more Kentuckian since I
Is that a word or you just make that up?
I made that up for like more like you guys, and they're like, oh, definitely. Like the way you've talked is your talking has started to sound more like you're from Kentucky than
Really?
yeah. So like I've been picking up on how like their dialects and their accents are.
But isn't it funny that you never hear your own accent? Like I don't think we have an accent in Cleveland.
So it's really cool. So Northern Ohio, specifically like this Cleveland, Toledo, like and Ashtabula area, so like that northern strip of Ohio on Lake Erie. My linguistics professor, so she studies all this, and she said linguists in the United States, like in North America, have concluded that like the Northern Ohio, like pit, like and like Northern Pennsylvania ish dialect and accent is the standard American English accent. So like we are the baseline.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And why? I wonder why that is.
But one thing I definitely notice is in our O's. When we say our O, you can really hear our Northern Ohio accent. And I've always been fascinated by linguistics. I would have studied linguistics, but I'm also like, I needed a job. Right. And I don't know what linguistics can get me as an undergrad.
Yeah. You could be a college professor.
I could be a college professor, that's about it. But so that requires a PhD in research, and I'm like, I don't got the money for that.
So do you think you're gonna go in and get your PhD?
If I get another degree, for right now, it would either be another master's or it would be like an EDD. Which, for those who don't know, that's a Doctor of Education.
Cool. So now, look, I'm just putting little gold highlights on.
Well, that's cute. Nope, I'm satisfied. I'm happy with mine.
Good. I'm gonna give them a little bit of fringe and then we're done. I think I said that 5 minutes ago, but.
Oh, on the scarf. Okay.
You don't have to. Here. Is he done?
He looks done. What are you naming yours?
Let's see. All right, so those of you on Amazon, I'm ending the live stream, which I have to do separate than everywhere else. So I'm going to end that. Bye, Amazon.
Bye, Amazon.
And what am I going to name my snowman? So now we can see. How about, well, I think it's definitely male. So I'm going to say, how about Samuel the snowman?
Samuel the snowman?
Sammy the snowman? What do you think? And like right here, again, where I have, as long as it's dry, I can just use the white paint to cover up. See, right here, I went out of the line. See that? I could just cover that up. No one will know. It's our secret. Shh. Don't tell anybody. No one knows your mistakes but you and anyone you tell. Right?
You made a mistake?
No, I don't make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. So.
I think my snowman, I'm going to name Blizzard.
I love that, except it makes me want to go to Dairy Queen.
You know what my favorite Dairy Queen Blizzard is?
Oreo.
No, the fudge brownie one.
Ooh, I like the Oreo.
You like the Oreo?
Oreos are my favorite, next to peanut butter. So, all right, you guys. Well, happy holidays. I can't say when we're going to go live again because we're trying to be spontaneous. Richie's heading back tomorrow, so I'm wishing you all a healthy and happy New Year. Denise, Artist at Heart Paint Party. Richie, my nephew, heading back to college tomorrow. God bless you guys. I mean,
Kentucky.
I still think of him like a little boy. I thought he was in college. He's a teacher now. He's out of college. a professional teacher. Oh my God. He's still my little nephew. You're still going to be my little nephew.
I know.
All right, you guys. Blessings to everybody. Have a safe and healthy new year. Right. Susan, God bless you too. Thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And now you got to get up there and figure out how to show it off. Because it's way over there. That's why we try to do it like farther away. And here's the finished product.